All right, as we said before, we are going to be asking some tough questions this morning. All right, so we have on the line, one of our friends living in the diaspora outside of Jamaica. And the tough question is being asked whether or not Jamaicans living in any other country apart from Jamaica should vote in the election. How do you feel about that this morning?
Yes, I do believe that if you have the opportunity to vote, you should.
But let me ask, Jamaicans are saying, many Jamaicans, this is something that was done earlier. Jamaicans are saying that persons who are not living in Jamaica, who don't know the hard crisis that is happening in Jamaica, the tough choices that Jamaicans have to make living in Jamaica, and they have moved away or gone to live abroad, they should not have this opportunity to vote and to make any changes or to try to make the election swing in one way or the other. What do you say on that? I mean, that's a tough question. How do you feel about that?
Well, my feeling is that, you travel back and forth. There are some of us who still travel back and forth to Jamaica. We still have homes there.
Mm.
We still do businesses there. So we are still a part of the country. So I think
Ah,
we should be given the opportunity to go ahead and vote as well.
you should be.
Yes.
And all right, fine. But then there are Jamaicans who are saying no
Well,
because you don't live there all the time. You only come with your enough money that you have and work in foreign and come back with all that foreign money. And when you come back with your foreign money now, you come and you feel that you must vote. Not you per se, but Jamaicans who live outside, whether they live in Canada, US, Caribbean, anywhere outside. What do you think about that?
well, it's based on a person's opinion. I mean, everyone is entitled to their opinion and how they feel. But this is my opinion and this is how I feel about it.
Alright, question that I've asked. Do you think that Jamaicans then, because many of my friends already are gone to Jamaica, take flight already from last night. They're in Jamaica by now. They're at the polling station, ready to make their mark because they are interested in either fed up of what's going on or do not want anybody to come and change what's going on. The question is, do you think that they should have polling stations or ways and means electronically that people in the diaspora could be voting in Jamaica without have to travel to Jamaica?
Well, yes, but that is not possible because of their economy. I don't think they would be able to afford. It would be an affordable thing for them to do. But yes, if it was affordable, I don't see anything that would be wrong with that.
You mean like
I mean,
I'm
have
saying
gone
what
and vote myself. I would have been more than happy to go down and do it.
no, no, but
You know.
I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying, what if we create a system in the US, in the Caribbean, in just across everywhere, in the diaspora, within the different places that Jamaicans live, a link or internet link that somebody could go online and vote for either the government that is in power now or the one that is they want to put in power, whichever one they want to choose. Because I think they have about two other political parties in Jamaica right now that is vying for government, while they are not major political parties, but they think that they can make a difference. If you feel like you want to vote for any one of those political system, you think that there should be a system set up on the internet that people don't have to travel to Jamaica to do the voting, but they can stay right at their homes in the United States of America or in Canada or in the UK, wherever, and just vote for which government they want, internet by internet.
Absolutely, absolutely. That would have been a good idea.
That
Yes.
would be a good idea. All right, and you know what? Thank Mikey G. I came up with it, guys. That's what they can thank me. They can thank me now when they go and implement this idea. I want to thank you for joining me this morning for this morning's experience right here on Flashpoint, and of course you're in the
You're
breakfast
welcome.
hour. All right,
Oh, okay.
all right. So here's so now we have the information that we want. All right. So this is one person's opinion. They're saying that yes, Jamaicans should vote. All right. Let me give you a bit of background on Jamaicans living abroad and living in diaspora. All right. Jamaicans living outside have contributed to Jamaica in since, well, this was a check that I did 2000 and 2017, 2018. I didn't do a check after that, but then this is what happened at that time. And so this is my old information I'm working from, old information, not new ones. But I'm mapping that to say that it didn't get worse, but it may have gotten much better. All right. Of course, it's Wellness Wednesdays, guys, and Dr. K will come up next right here on Flashpoint. So please, you're waiting for Dr. K to come. We're talking about election. Of course, we're going to be featuring our wellness feature this morning and what Dr. K have to present. And so please stay tuned for that. But what I want to say to you first before I get into the feature this morning is to say to you that Jamaicans in the diaspora have contributed up to 40% of the GDP of Jamaica. All right, GDP, what is that? Some persons are asking. It is the gross domestic product of Jamaica, which means this is the what you call the budget for Jamaica to run Jamaica for 1 year, where tourism comes in, construction or manufacturing comes in, money markets comes in, banking sectors, otherwise comes in, and they actually put their money in there, and all of that creates the money that is earned from farming, the farming industry earned for Jamaica, for the budget or the money to run Jamaica. 40% of that is persons living outside of Jamaica who send remittance back into the country of Jamaica, work in the snow, work in the hot sun, picking apples, working domestic work. Some persons are domestic helpers, some persons are farm workers, some persons are construction workers. Of course, they are not all construction. Some people are doctors, lawyers, teachers, whatever the profession the trade that you apply abroad, whatever you do. These are Jamaicans living outside of Jamaica who have contributed to 40% of the gross domestic product, which is the overall budget of Jamaica, running Jamaica for 1 year that Jamaica earns. Money that comes in, that what Jamaica needs for its constant going forward or to maintain or sustain itself. 40% of it comes from people living outside of Jamaica. I know most of our Jamaican friends did not know that, or many did know, but for those who didn't know, good information to know. All right, having said that, we're going to come back to some of our election friends we are going to be talking to about the election. My friend is going to Spanish Town right now, coming from our way Bagwalk, going through Linstead, coming from Linstead, going through Bagwalk, and of course, going to Spanish Town, probably to cast the vote or to check out what's going on down there, or probably running 2 trips and things, bringing some passengers or whatever. Well, let's check up and see some of our taxi drivers. We're going to call a few local persons in Jamaica, and we're going to talk about what's going on in Jamaica, what it's like on the ground in Jamaica, and selection morning. Of course, Labour Right versus PNP versus Labour Right. And of course, is it necessary for the persons in a compound town, the Maroons, to also have a say in Jamaica's affairs and how Jamaica is run? Let's hear some of your comments in the chat. Please put the comments in the chat. Let me look at some of those, and we'll of course talk about those things in a few minutes. Of course, it is Wellness Wednesday. Dr. K comes up next right here on Flashpoint. Of course, Wellness Wednesday, this segment is brought to you by Asai Ultrasound for all your ultrasound needs right here in the Grand Cayman Islands.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
Of course, good morning again. It's Wellness Wednesday right here at Flashpoint. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning right here in the Grand Cayman Islands. And of course, it is indeed Wednesday with a difference. We're going to be talking a little bit more about your health and how you can maintain and manage your health. Lady Elise, good morning once again. How are you doing?
Good morning. It is certainly a privilege to be here on another Wellness Wednesday. Of course, we are celebrating health and hope, and we want to stay healthy, not only for today, but for the future. So we are deliberate in presenting health and wellness tips. Now, yesterday, we focused on financial health and how we can take care of the funds in our pockets. But as we know, there is no wealth without health. And so, of course, we have our physician who is going to share with us this morning on the breakfast hour how we can stay healthy, healthy as individuals, equal, healthy families, healthy communities, and of course, a healthy world. Now, Dr. K comes with years of experience and she has a passion that comes across every time she presents. She's concerned about our health and our well being. So I'm sure she's going to share with us today on Wellness Wednesday.
All right, of course, when we come back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Good morning, Dr. K. Of course, I don't know what we have in store this morning, but I'm sure you're going to tell us a little bit more about how to take care of our health. Of course, it is Wellness Wednesday right here on Flashpoint. For those who are just joining us for the first time, like, share, subscribe. Of course, hit the notification bell that whenever time you get one of these programs comes up, you can get it first. Dr. K, what are you sharing with us this morning?
Good morning, Mikey G. Good morning, Lady Elise. How are you today?
Good morning and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Well, actually, I think.
Well, this morning we're going to be talking about something that's pretty common. I'm sure a lot of people know about it. It's polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's a big word for
Polycystic ovarian syndrome.
polycystic
Polycystic
ovarian syndrome.
ovarian syndrome. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, polycystic ovarian syndrome is a pretty common entity. Let's say possibly 1 in 10 women have polycystic ovarian syndrome. The thing about it, a lot of women possibly do not know that they have polycystic ovarian syndrome and go through life, and when they decided that they want to get pregnant is when they realize that they're having problems getting pregnant. And I'm sure you've heard or you've seen it a number of times where women are pregnant and don't know that they're pregnant. And there are women who go up to almost time for delivery. And then that's when they go to the hospital with abdominal pain.
Wow.
And they find out that having they're pregnant and have been pregnant for a long time. And there are women who go to the hospital for other reasons, and the doctor says, "Congratulations, your baby's doing fine." I go, "What baby? I'm not pregnant." But a lot of women who with irregular periods can get pregnant and not know that they are pregnant. And I've known cases that the woman was 5 months pregnant, and she had no clue.
Wow.
In fact, she said her last period was last month. And it was when she went to the hospital for whatever reason and they did a pregnancy test or did an ultrasound and they saw the baby and they said, "You can congratulations." She's like, "No, I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant." And can't believe that she's pregnant because, of course, she had no symptoms of pregnancy.
So you're saying that,
And according
that this person is having a period, and so while being pregnant at the same time.
she's having a bleed, a vaginal bleed, not necessarily a period, but it is mistaken for a period. Because people with polycystic ovarian syndrome have irregular periods.
So you're saying then
So-
that when you see, if somebody comes and say that they're having this irregular kind of bleeding, it is possible that they're having this happening
Right.
to them.
So it's possible that they're having polycystic ovarian syndrome, but there are a number of other things that can cause it.
Polycystic
And people
ovarian
can have
syndrome.
polycystic ovarian syndrome and not have symptoms of polycystic ovarian syndrome. And that's where I'm going to go through polycystic ovarian syndrome. So basically what it is that there's a hormone imbalance, right? And because of the hormonal imbalance, your ovaries, right, do not release the eggs as it should.
Oh.
Okay? So the ovaries actually create excess hormones, and the ovaries usually have this high level of hormones called androgens. And we know androgen is a hormone that makes men men. Okay, so they get a high level of androgen. And that is why women who have polycystic ovarian syndrome tend to have increased facial hairs. They'll have beard, they'll have a little bit of mustache, and they tend to have the acne because of the increased level of androgen. Okay, and as a result of this, they have irregular periods because their ovaries have these cystic lesions that basically are the eggs that they produce are immature, so they're not really producing the proper eggs. Okay? So what happens is that they have lack of ovulation. So if you don't ovulate, you can't produce the eggs and you can't get pregnant. Okay? But not all women with polycystic ovarian disease are infertile, and not all of them have basically cyst on the ovaries. So there are other symptoms that we're going to delve into.
Okay.
But polycystic ovarian disease usually starts at puberty. That is when you first start having your period, right? But most times, it's not really diagnosed early, not all the time, and it's usually diagnosed in the 20s and the 30s when a woman is trying to get pregnant and she realizes that she's not getting pregnant, or she has increased facial hairs, or she's gaining weight, and then she realizes that hey, something is happening and she might go to her doctor. So the symptoms that they have of polycystic ovarian syndrome is that they tend to have irregular periods, as I said before, the abnormal hair growth, that is the facial hair, and they can have increased growth on not just the face but on the arms and the legs, right? And this is called something we call hirsutism, right? And people with polycystic Polycystic ovarian syndrome, approximately 70% of persons with polycystic ovarian syndrome tend to have this kind of increased body hairs. Okay? The other thing that they tend to have is the acne, and the acne tend to occur usually past their teenage years. You know that teenagers tend to have acne, and usually when they come out of the teenage years, miraculously their face is clear, and wherever they have the acne, whether it's back or chest, and it's like a miracle. They've been looking like a pizza face all their lives as a teenager, and the moment the teenage years have passed, it's like they clear up significantly. And I don't know how many people who have had acne as teenagers. I had, and it's crazy that one day you wake up and you're not producing all these disgusting lesions on your face, and they disappear.
I grew up and saw many of my friends with a lot of those bumps on them all the time, but unfortunately, I didn't get any of them. I don't know which it is, but I didn't get much acne effect in terms of the bumps and stuff. I may have a few little. My sister used to like to squeeze those things off my nose right here. I said there are worms in there, some white stuff coming out. I should push my nose like this and it just pops stuff. I'm like, so I don't know. That's for me the amount of what I think I will be exposed to this acne effect. I don't know. I didn't have the lots of bumps. I had lots of friends with whole lot of bumps, girls and boys, whole lot of bumps all over the face, and they're picking it and sometimes they bleed. I don't know. It's a thing. I saw that, but I didn't
And
have it, so I don't know.
sometimes it leaves these dents, these marks in the face. But the thing to know that is that usually with persons with or women with polycystic ovarian syndrome, the acne tend to go way beyond the teenage years. As I said before, miraculously when you come out of the teenage period, the acne the acne condition or the lesions tend to get better. But usually with patients with polycystic ovarian syndrome, the acne prolongs or goes way beyond the teenage years. The other thing that they tend to have is weight issues. They tend to have obesity. In fact, about 40 to 80% of women who have polycystic ovarian syndrome actually have obesity. So they're having problems maintaining a healthy weight. And there's also something else that they tend to get, something we call acanthosis nigrans, where they get these blotches, these dark blotches, usually around their necks. It's because of insulin resistance, but they usually get these dark spots on their skins. They can get it under their armpits, they can get it to their neck, can get it on the groin, they can get it under their breasts. And they tend to have skin tags, usually in the same area. They might thin off the hair, and the other thing we talked about is infertility. So we always say, what is the cause? What causes polycystic ovarian syndrome? And the cause is not exactly known, but what they know is that there's a big genetic predisposition to it. So if your family member had polycystic ovarian syndrome, then you're at a higher risk of getting polycystic ovarian syndrome. Another thing that causes it again is insulin resistance. What they found out that is that insulin, an increase in the insulin causes your ovaries to make and release the male hormone androgen. And it's the androgen that suppresses ovulation and contribute to the symptoms, as I told you, the weight gain, the hirsutism, the acne, and this is what happens because of insulin resistance. Okay, and so another reason is low grade inflammation. What they're saying is that there's inflammation in the ovaries, and because of the inflammation in the ovaries, they're basically having the abnormality with ovulation in the ovaries. So a lot of times we find out that people with polycystic ovarian syndrome or PCOS tend to have problems with their insulin, so they get diabetes, they can get high blood pressure, they can get high cholesterol. So these are some of the things that they can get just because of the condition that they have. Because remember, if you have insulin resistance, you're more likely to get diabetes, and they can get high cholesterol, and they can get, so there's just a number of things that they can get because of the condition. So it's not just infertility, there are other health conditions that can occur because of um, the PCOS, the condition. Another thing they can get is that they can get the NASH, non-hepatic hepatitis is hepatitis, right? So they can get that because of the because again of the insulin resistance and the inflammation. But the thing about it is that those persons with PCOS tend to have all these conditions that we're talking about. And the good thing about it though is that um, even though there's no cure for polycystic ovarian disease, it can be treated. And they found out that persons who have problems with, especially getting pregnant and fertility, just losing weight, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, losing weight, eating better, and exercising, a lot of these women go on to conceiving and getting pregnant just by taking some changes in their lifestyle. They end up and having more than one children too, not just having that one child. But there are a number of things that can happen. So if weight loss, exercise, eating properly is not an option, then I suppose there are other things that the doctor can do. There's one thing they can do, they can give you things like metformin that can maintain your insulin or the glucose control. They can give you things that can help to block the release of androgens or block the effect of androgens. Or you can get medication that can cause you to ovulate, so stimulate your ovaries to produce eggs so you can get pregnant. So there are a number of things, and another thing that can cause to regulate your period too is a contraceptive pill, whether it's going to be a vaginal ring or whatever form of exogenous hormones that are going to be placed inside your body that can help you to regulate your period so you can actually get pregnant. So yes, polycystic ovarian syndrome is something that's pretty important. A lot of people, even though a lot of people don't talk about it, but there, as I said, it's 1 in 10 women with polycystic ovarian syndrome, and that's significant for me.
1 in 10. 1 in 10 women that
Mm-hmm.
that have that is for me. I think that's like you said, that is a lot. That signifies. But what really do? All right, what brings on this effect though? Doc? What actually causes this effect? Is it that you're born this way, or is that hormone imbalance? Is that what you're saying?
It's a hormone imbalance, and I just said the exact cause of it is not known, but we know that there's a high genetic predisposition to it. So the causes that we have is the genetics. The other cause that we said is insulin resistance. The other cause you says is inflammation in the ovary that brings across the abnormality
Okay.
in the ovary. Because the insulin resistance causes you to produce the androgen. So it's not all the time you have cyst on your ovary, but you have the syndrome where you have the problem producing all these excessive hormones, which is androgen, imbalance in the hormones, so you're not ovulating, and as a result of not ovulating, you won't be able to conceive.
That
And,
sounds.
and what I find interesting, Dr. K, as you mentioned, is how important it is for us to maintain that balance. Because a lot of the persons that I've met in my experience, what they note is that they start to experience symptoms after increasing weight, and sometimes usually it's a sudden increase in weight, and suddenly they recognize that their periods change, and those things start to happen. So again, it reminds us how important balance is, as you mentioned, taking care of yourself, making sure you have the appropriate weight, your exercise, and you eat right, and you'll be surprised how many other factors contribute to our health and well-being.
And that's absolutely true, because remember, as I said, a lot of times, yeah, women do not know that they have this issue until they started gaining weight, and then when they gain weight, the weight gain, and this is when they usually in their 20s and 30s and trying to get pregnant. They realize, oh my God, and then, because sometimes the features that they have, even the male pattern of the facial features or hair is not is so subtle sometimes. Sometimes it's not even there, that they don't even know that they have the syndrome. So and I'm sure you've seen a lot of women. I mean, older women tend to get a little bit more hair, but I'm talking about younger women, because older women tend to get a little bit of hirsutism at times. But I'm talking about younger women in their 20s and 30s. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of women and they have children, but there's some of them who really and truly have problems conceiving. And the thing about it again is that because the ovaries are producing all these hormones, what happens is that women have to maintain that healthy weight, have to change their lifestyle, because it not just affect their ability to conceive. But remember, I told you, the high blood pressure, the high cholesterol, the diabetes. Remember, these are always factors for other events, cardiovascular events, stroke, and other things that can decrease your life, your more your whole independence, your lifestyle. These are things that can actually cause damage to your body, which you really don't want. So we want to maintain a healthy life. So if we can control some of the things that we can control, and if you have signs of these people, have a talk with your doctor. If you
Right.
notice that when you started having your periods have been irregular. Usually what they do is that they don't have regular periods. And when the periods come, their periods last for longer. So they might last for 38, 35 days. Usually a woman period lasts for 21 to 28 days, sometimes go up to 32 and can go up to 36, but theirs tend to last a little bit longer than that. So the majority of women will have a cycle between 21 and 28 days. Their cycle tends to last longer, and their periods tend to last longer, and also they tend to have longer periods and longer time before having a period. So you will have a period every month. They're going through months without having a period. And so because of the irregularity of it, it makes them harder for them to conceive. Yes, so it's a matter of, if you know you have those symptoms and you're having facial hairs and you're gaining weight and you have all these skin tags and these dark blotches all over your body, it's time to have a conversation with your doctor. Have a conversation.
And I also want to point out, Dr. K, when we speak about these conditions, and sometimes we kind of isolate one situation. We're talking about women and talking about ovaries and their periods and fertility. But the anxiety that accompanies these conditions impact everyone. You know, the anxiety of not having your period, not being sure how long it will take, the embarrassing thing that happens if it just shows up because you are unable to plan, or when you are anxious about conceiving. And yes, your cousin knows your blood pressure goes up, the entire anxiety that comes, you're irritable, your spouse, your family members. So when we are speaking about polycystic ovaries, and I find a lot more persons, I don't know if a lot more persons are being diagnosed, that they will say, I have PCOS. I know I have polycystic ovaries. I know this is happening to me and so forth. But there's so much more when one aspect of your body is not functioning as it should, then it's the impact of it is certainly felt in your workplace, in your home, in the persons that you interact with. So this information is important, not for me just to keep it to myself, but to also share with others. If you know someone who is battling, or they might notice that there's something happening and they're not wanting to go to the doctor, then it could be something like polycystic ovaries, and there are things that you can do to manage the situation.
And yes, Lady Elise, I'm happy that you pointed out that aspect of it, because usually people with PCOS tend to, if you're when you go to your doctor might want to send you to get some form of counseling, because yes, it does affect not just you but your entire environment, your spouse, your family, your work, and everything. Because yes, there's a heightened anxiety because of your condition, and especially if you're in a marital relationship and you're being pressured to conceive, there can be additional anxiety there, and even if you're not and you want to have children, there can be. And it's not just having children too, it's sometimes you lose the confidence of you because you've gained weight, you have these facial hairs, you have the acne, your body habitus is not the way you want it to be, and sometimes there's a lack of confidence in yourself, which sometimes you have to get counseling for that because of how you feel about you. And yes, the other issue is the embarrassment that can happen because it's so hard to plan your periods. Usually women who are regular, that every 28 days, and you can mark your calendar straight back to the end of the year, and you know when your periods are coming, so you're more better prepared to facilitate that physiological process. But in a case where PCOS, you don't know. You just have to always walk with your container. But then you never know when it's going to happen. It's hard for you to be wearing a panty liner every day, or something every day to make sure. And even when you do, sometimes accidents happen. So it makes it harder for women to want to be able to prepare for this condition. I mean, it's hard on it is, and that is why there's an anxiety and another mental health component because of the condition itself. So thank you for interjecting that aspect of the disease.
Thank you so much, Dr. K. It has been a beneficial conversation on so many levels, and I hope that someone who is listening, even if you're not dealing with the situation, perhaps you can share that hope and you can motivate someone to change your lifestyle one step at a time, because we recognize that we are certainly interdependent, and different aspects, or weight, everything affects different areas of our body. Thank you so much, Dr. K. We have learned a whole lot, and we thank you for your dedication to the ministry, taking care of our health each week without fail. You have shared some amazing, wonderful information with us, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
If everybody noticed, I had kept quiet for a while, Dr. K, because I have to just listen to update myself on what goes on in the female realm. And so I thank you also on myself, just to say thanks for this information. So as I go forward, I know how to appreciate our women when they're having different cycles or different modes and all of that. So thank you so much. All right, guys, when we come back, more on Wellness Wednesday right here on Flashpoint.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call SI Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
I want to say Wellness Wednesday was a difference. Yeah, man. For those who enjoy the Wellness Wednesday or the discussion that we had a while ago, beneficial to you, informative, and of course gave you enough information that you can, be aware of your health and how you can take care of that. All right, we are still in election mode, and I'm telling you, it is hyping up. All right, so I joined my friend back in Spanish Town. Jay.
Yeah, man, you're live and clear.
All right, cool. So the question I'm asking is, what you went and you're voting already? You did your voting already?
No, we don't do voting. The line long.
The line long. All right. Question I want to ask you is this. The question is this. How is it looking like? What is it looking like in Spanish Town? Earlier passed through Linstead or Bagwalk, and you said that the place was all orange. No trees, no green down there. What would Spanish Town is just concrete? The trees green in Spanish Town?
Right now with the shower right now, With the shower right now, I tell you say. Right just me there on the William Street section at this moment.
Yes.
And me I tell you toward the street full of with green, I tell you, no orange. Yeah. No orange live. Yeah.
So do you believe that some orange people is inside the crowd wearing green clothes?
Right now, as me I tell you right now, man. You see, told me street full of with green. So me say street full of with green.
No orange can be inside there, not true. No orange can come inside the greenhouse.
No, well, right now, with no orange in the road, I don't feel shower where I look at. Right now, feel shower.
Alright, so, some people, wait, let me ask you a question. The question I'm asking from morning is this one. This one question I'm asking. Should people live outside of Jamaica, like live in foreign, right? Be able to come to Jamaica and vote in the election, or they should stay at foreign and don't come home and vote? What do you think about that?
Alright, this is right now, as told me say, right now, the face over straight Jamaica and overseas should come out here from vote same way. Or stay over there have a polling station over there and vote same way as told me say.
Well, alright, may I have the same idea, then, we have the same ideas, right? Because I'm thinking that we should be able to vote. I mean, that's my take on it still, in a sense. But then there are many persons who say differently, and of course I'm going to listen to different conversation. I know a few of my friends leave Cayman and in Jamaica right now voting, and I'm going to catch up with a few of them in a little while from now and see what's going on, Yeah. But right now, the line long in Spanish Town, long line, or does So see no orange at all, nowhere at all?
Right now I know my not purple up yet, me have wait, see and wait. So you see when me leave by here so now, right, when me leave by here so now, never do a next day, just show them back again to the radio station again and do a next live again from in the town again.
Alright, no problem, alright. So may I catch up with somebody else and then when we come back we talk to you again, alright. So keep me updated.
Yeah man. Make it update live again. So we're live on the street of William Street of Jamaica. So everything with the boss. Bless up.
There you have it, of course, from Spanish Town, Jamaica this morning, election mode. Is it PNP? Is it Labour Right? Is it There was another party coming up that we had in there as well that they are vying for this. Of course, the Maroons in a compound town that they need also to have voices, their voice be heard in the politics of Jamaica. What do we say about that is the question we're asking this morning. Type in the chat, of course, right here on our YouTube page this morning. If you're here with us, just type what you think. Should Jamaicans living abroad be able to vote in the general election of Jamaica? Fly home from foreign after living in them nice house and everything and outside of Jamaica, and then come home and vote for the same government or opposing government to come in and take over or to make this government stay, whichever one. What do you think about that? Should people living in diaspora get the opportunity to vote? Should they vote, or should they just leave the voting to Jamaicans who feel the hardship or feel whatever is going on and know that if the next government come in it's going to be worse, or the one that is in that is not making it better and they want a different government to change, and then those persons come and try to keep the government or try to change the government? What do you say? Type in the chat what you think. Should Jamaicans living outside the states, the state of Jamaica, vote in the general election this morning? Alright, I'm going to catch up with some other persons. Let me see if I can catch up with a few of my friends across Jamaica right now. See, some people are traveling all the way to Montego Bay. Some people are going all the way to Montego Bay to actually vote in this election. I'm telling you, it's a critical one. Let me catch up with here's one of my friends living in Jamaica as well, but also a foreigner and everything. So let's see what's going on. I'm trying to catch up with a few people and see whether or not we can have a conversation with them read the election this morning and how it's favoring. You know, many persons are having high spirit this morning. I talked to one of my friends and said, PNP take the thing, PNP are going to win the election. And of course, you know how it works, partisan. We are all people who love one party or the next, and so we are waiting for our choices to come. It happens all around the world. Some countries not so much, but anyways, in the places that it do happen, then let's see. All right, so I'm trying to catch up with a few people. So let me see if I can do this. All right, let me go with this one. Let me catch up with another caller. Just missed that call, so I'm gonna return the call and see if we can actually get some information coming in. All right, so live on air right now with my friend. All right, pick up yourself. I like when I call your name this morning, but so we're going to just keep it simple and no name. All right, so let me ask you. Election in Jamaica this morning, and we understand that it's all about the red and the green. Red and green are purple, are orange and green this morning. Alright, what do you think? Question I've been asking from morning is this. Should Jamaicans living outside of Jamaica? Alright, so we're having an issue right there. Alright, let me see if I can still get my can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Alright, you're live on here right now. You're live on Flashpoint this morning, so please, I have to keep it simple now, alright? So, remember, you're on here, so whatever is going on, let them know that you're live on here right now, so you have to keep it a little bit nice, alright? Alright, the question I'm asking this morning, can you hear the question I'm asking? Can you hear me properly? Before I ask the question, let me hear it. Alright. Alright, the question I want to ask is this. Should Jamaicans living outside the country of Jamaica, living abroad, live foreign, vote in the general election, come home and vote in the election, to either keep the government or change the government? Should Jamaicans living abroad get the opportunity to also vote? Should they vote? It's the question I'm asking.
If you vote, because they're Jamaican.
Must vote.
American all over and globe. No matter which part they didn't send ballot to them. Them should have sent ballot to it too.
They should send the ballot. Yeah, alright, so you as a Jamaican who live outside of Jamaica saying that Jamaicans living outside should vote.
Yes.
And have the opportunity. Alright, so you are thinking of getting like an electronic system that gives you the opportunity to do so. Fair and free election in a controlled and of course secure environment.
Yeah, of course. See, like how you have, what them to do, the same, what them to do, you know. Whatever you see, I go on. Like how you have the national ID linked to me. Just like how they have they call it TRN, just like a social.
Right.
And that they be used on it. Because I'm not supposed to share my social with you. You understand me?
Right, right.
Use that and vote from anywhere with them.
Use it. So you're saying, oh, okay. So you're actually recommend a way of setting up a system. That's what you're saying.
No.
The last one
Yeah.
was grape juice, I thought.
Alright, I'm talking because it was very long. That's how it's supposed to go, man.
So you're vying for the idea of setting up a system that people outside of Jamaica, living in the diaspora, living outside of Jamaica, have the opportunity and can be able to vote via the system.
Yes, yes.
Casting your ballots. Alright, let me ask you then. You're Jamaican and you hear what's going on the ground. We hear some of the friends come back and say, boy, PNP landslide. Victory for PNP already. That's what I hear already. I hear all that going on, appear orange, and then I hear one set of people say it's green. So, what are you thinking?
Well, listen. No matter where you go, you know, like with the caliber of some people, somehow them already plan how them are going to achieve it. Come here, the PNP on the news down there. Right now. Them have paid people $50,000 not to go out and vote. You see the difference now?
Oh, so the money is not being paid for the vote now, but it's being paid not to turn up for the voting.
So I pay labor right not to go out and vote in the area then, so that they can retain the seat. So what them are going to do, you know, pay somebody not to go vote, but them pay other people for them people who then sure to go out and vote.
So you're saying that money is being spent on both sides of the fence?
Yeah, man, the money I spend on both sides of the fence and that. But some blatantly pay you, say, if you don't vote. But you know, so then complain for them money that do. If you don't vote, then come back for their money, and that's the argument.
So let me ask you a question. You think the other side, the other party, also do the same thing, similar to this one, to the other party?
I think one less than one the more.
One do less, one do more.
Bias, we are bias. The whole of them do it.
You know which one? You know which one the more and which one the less.
The one we're comfortable in a power, if I go do less, you know. Because what happened, you know, remember I said this time, but the only time they vote for performance, you know. And the direction the way the country are going, you know, so a performance thing right now.
So, but do you believe that the people of Jamaica actually find themselves in a position mentally to vote in this way? I'm not calling. I'm please, if somebody pick up this broadcast on your TV or wherever it is, on your radio, wherever you are. Might say Mikey G, I make Jamaica people look at them an idiot. No, I'm saying, are we at this point capable of losing the color scheme of green or red to look at issues that surrounds us to vote for that?
You know, sad to say, you know, they are Jamaican, you know, but the same thing what you say a while ago. Me will say them an idiot because I don't think they should have vote for no diarrhea. If you see country have go right, vote for that. If you see that go wrong, you vote the other way.
Right.
But them don't vote because some people say in Granny and PMP. So if I vote PMP, or in Granny and never right, I might vote never right. You know, things that shouldn't be.
So that's a routine of how people mindset is in Jamaica. That's what you're saying. That they're not voting on the issues if the country is running better, good or bad. They're just voting because they think that this is the way they want to vote. That's what you're saying. Just the color, or partisan politics, as we would have it to say before.
Boom. Yeah, so them vote. I mean, I don't think they sense it because if Java run, even back in the days time when me go and work, if I'm party, I give you more job and fix your country. And that me I go vote for, that me I go want. Me not go vote for one way, never do nothing, and more come back and don't do nothing and then me ball again.
So you're saying that the people of Jamaica still have a slave mind, a slave mentality. That's what you're saying.
This same way not change. That could be like when one woman I live in an abusive relationship, the man a beating one beating come. You understand? And in time the same way. So I told me pity them, make me tell you. Left. You understand what I said to you?
Even if you get a good option, you're not leaving.
Yeah, then that me tell you, sir. Me and one cousin just dead. A Jamaica right now, where man beat her, and a long time I beat her. And then there she dead right now.
So what happened to him, man? What happened to him? What happened to him?
But what I'm saying, at that time, you understand what I said to you? Yeah, so yeah, people stay in our abusive relationship for years. Not, you know, when they want left, when they want beating, killing, no, you can't left. Because I tell you, our son, say, I want left daddy, because daddy had this, and they look up, you know. You understand what I say?
I hear exactly what you say. I hear exactly what you say. So she not leaving, and the man beat her all the time.
Yeah, because here what happened, the government or the PNP from me born till now, and me I see them. Remember say, me I go to school and me not bias as me tell you. But me know you know a road from Wax Road to Winterfell. That the road there is stone road from where I go to school, or from me know myself. A pure stone. And if you go up a lizard town, a bare stone. You understand it? And PNP rule that from when? And a bare stone.
So the question.
You know a road?
Yeah, man, but I'm saying the question I'm asking is it?
And soon turn grandfather.
And the road.
Go for our grandfather. And the road remain the same.
Let me ask a question. Then isn't those areas of what you call councillors and MPs representation in parliament for these communities that they don't get funding? You don't get funding as a minister of government for your community itself for you to be able to.
They get money. They get money and they have money. You
So,
know, see, a Bruce Pauline come and change the whole thing to make MP I get too much millions of dollars or like certain amount of money and they're supposed to spend it. And some of them go to jail. I hear them attack. The boat. And that's why this one can say a performance, you know. Because you see like when we use in the classroom and then tell us say you have to send one report. We will go and feed, you have to keep a tab of where you're going and appraisal and then sit you're going. And that Andrew Wallace do with the minister, that's why they perform so much. Can change it. The PMP not like that, they don't want that. And you see them not perform because they not have it over for them side.
They don't want as performance based, it's not necessarily so, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. When them have to, you know, over that put no, I get the word, you know, that true me occupied or something to
I get you. I get you. You're a little bit preoccupied in a sense, but we still having a conversation. Still good.
Yeah, but I don't think they're virgin. To me, people who make the right choice, as I tell them, you see it and vote for what you see. Don't vote for what you see. Don't vote for what they promise. And nobody, as I tell you, it comes like treating a woman. Because, as I said, they might beat you, let it. So, they not treat you good, then that's how me feel.
Well, all right. For me, I'm just trying to find out, what it feels like, this time around, who we want to win for it, win the election this time. I want to give a shout out to a lovely lady this morning, Miss Rosemary Palmer, this morning, on the breakfast. So I want to say good morning to you. One of my good friends, joining me this morning. So I want to give a big shout out to you this morning. Put a little smile on my face as well to see you join the club and say good morning. Of course, we're talking about the Jamaicans who are voting in the election today and what we think should Jamaicans living abroad vote in the election coming up. All right, thank you, brother. All right, I'm going to catch up with somebody else right now. I'm back in Jamaica now to see what's going on in Jamaica. We just talked to Mama Boy a while ago, and he said in Spanish Town and voting and all kind of things going on. So we're going to be doing some stuff with a lot of persons today with the election going on in Jamaica and of course voting rights. Should Jamaicans living abroad? This is the question I'm asking. Vote in the election. Thank you very much for this morning conversation.
Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and CoraleeKaren, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
All right, so joining me this morning, Lady Elise, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm touching on the election this morning, because you know how this thing working out, right? Lots of Jamaicans, blood running high this morning. Talk to, one of our peeps across the landscape of the diaspora this morning. A few people so far, and catching the information how we feel. Talk to a few local persons already. Have a few more to talk to on this morning's edition of the breakfast. So it's an extended version of it. I'm pushing it a little bit. The limit on it. Our news will come up in a little bit as well. We should have had our news already from the lady CoraleeKaren, but we're gonna just keep the news for a little bit until a little longer. We want to get some information from some of our people. As you see the election running this morning, ladies, the question I'm asking is: should Jamaicans living outside of in the diaspora be allowed to vote in the general election of Jamaica to swing the election one way or the next? What are you thinking about that?
I think it has been a consideration. It's not just a thought. It is something that is done in other jurisdictions, and certainly there is a large contingent of Jamaicans that are living outside the country who perhaps some of them do not have the latitude to come for elections. Some persons have gone back home, but I have a friend who have traveled from the Cayman Islands to Jamaica just to cast her vote and exercise her right to vote. So certainly it should be something that is considered. And I believe, if I am not mistaken, it was encouraged during the campaign leading up to the election. And as you mentioned, what you just spoke about a while ago, I had a conversation with a relative of mine yesterday, and she says, one more day of fun and games, and then is crying after that. so leading up to the election, all of this excitement on the radio, they call it programs, people throwing words. Some of them are fun. Leading up to the election, you see the person, and then after that, it's a different ball game. So today, of course, persons have gone out to the polls. I've seen pictures, persons posting pictures of their fingers, evidence that they are voting.
Yes. Purple ink.
Finger. but it's certainly a blessing to be able to exercise a democratic right. There are some persons who are not able to do it, and may the best candidate, the better candidate, because I'm not sure, and that this is something I should be finding out. There are two major parties, the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party, but previously we had parties like NDM, National Democratic Movement, we have an independent party. So we should find out if there are any other candidates in the run-up for this election. But may the best and the better candidate win.
Well, as I'm saying to our friends this morning, it is a very interesting thing to see the election coming. It's like saying most persons are saying we want to keep the present government. Some people say them do very bad, we want to change them. Not because they're doing poorly, but because they don't like the green or the color red or orange. So we're not voting for, say, better or worse. And then there's another twist to the story that persons are being paid money to not vote in the election. And this is a very interesting twist. There's a time when we talked about the black people who were enslaved, by the then colonial masters. And so what happened was, I made this story up. I made this story up. So just let me make up the story, all right? But this was what was happening. They were incentivized by the colonial masters to stay. And so maybe at every holiday time, they might get a hug or two to roast that they can celebrate and have their fun. But anyhow you make any of the slave escape, no more hug. You can't get none of the hug. And so you're not going to get any hug for that holiday. And so because of that one hug, no slave could leave the pen. So I'm wondering if the same mentality is being used on the Jamaicans again, giving them the money to not vote or to vote, whichever way it is. Or do we vote on issues? Are we capable then? And I'm not trying to say that Jamaicans are not sensible people. Please don't think that I'm saying that. What I'm saying is that we have so long have not looked at what's happening around us and decide on the issues that are actually there to vote on these issues and decide and determine our better future for ourselves. What is the best outcome, or what would be the best outcome for us if we do this or if we do that? And so did we look at the issues or what is being presented as a means of which we are going to cast a ballot on that issue? Or did we just decide that I'm going to vote red or I'm going to vote green, no matter what the issues are, I don't care and I'm just going to do it? What do you think of that?
Well, that is something that exists. I had a recent conversation, which I found quite funny, with somebody who lives outside of Jamaica, and she has found herself affiliated with a party because her mom, as far as she knows, was affiliated with the party. And with further conversation, we recognized that a thing as something as the former prime minister, female prime minister of Jamaica, she did not know which party that prime minister belonged to. However, she was quite confident that she is a member of a specific party just because her mom, as far as she knows, used to be affiliated with the party. And that was something very interesting. And so that you find that there are persons who do not vote for issues. If another party even have more acceptable or things that you probably would be interested in change being made, that doesn't alter the decision to vote either way, because once you are this party, right, that is the party you're going to vote for. So there are persons like that it doesn't matter the issues, it's just the party.
So that's basically what I'm saying. I'm asking the question. All right, joining us this morning is another friend in Jamaica. G, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, man. How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm good. The question I'm asking, we are stuck with the question this morning of asking, Jamaicans living. First question is this: should Jamaicans living outside of Jamaica be allowed to vote to swing the election one way or the next? Is that so? Diaspora. People in the diaspora, should they be able to vote?
Voting?
Yeah, should
Therefore,
diaspora?
voting have its place. But constitutionally, I don't think we have anything in place to validate or to justify it at this time.
No. Amidst the justification of it. Amidst the justification. The question is not whether or not justification of it or even proper what you call monitoring of it could be is done. Right? But I'm saying, should it be allowed? Should people, alright, let's put it this way. Should people leave foreign then, fly to Jamaica in droves and just come down and vote for whoever party they want to vote for?
I think it should be allowed, yes.
You think it's something that should be allowed?
Yeah.
Alright, you're a few of many Jamaicans who believe that, because some people says no, they shouldn't, because most people live in foreign and they don't know what Jamaica is suffering in Jamaica, and then you just come down with your foreign money and then decide that you can come vote and cause us to stay in the situation that we're in, or put you in a worse situation, whatever it is. I am not sure, right?
Yeah. But I am. If you ask me my views on it,
right.
I will say to you, my view is, a Jamaican for me. I don't matter where you're born, or where you are, or where you are at this time. If it is that you're asked to make a decision in your country,
right,
I will support it. So, voters in the diaspora, for me, I will accept them as legitimate as they come, legitimate voters. Yes, I will support that.
Alright, on the ground this morning in Jamaica, and you're in Jamaica right now, what is it like where you are at in terms of election vibe, energy? Are you feeling unsafe in any way, or you're feeling as if you should stay home, or what do you feel like? How you feeling? Tell me.
No, the vibe where I'm at right now, the vibe is a spirited vibe. I've not seen Jamaicans so spirited about going out and polling. I find that a number of Jamaicans today are ready and willing to go out and speak to who they want to take the mantle for the next 5 years. So it's a lot different from the last couple of years where there was this voter apathy. But right now, the numbers are different. I see a number of persons have voted already and can't wait to leave the office to go and vote and things like that. The voter turnout will be a little different, I think, this year.
What makes you feel like?
Why I feel that?
Yeah.
I think a lot of maturity, a lot of people want to change, and people want to support. So with that, I mean, people on the ground say, hey, I want my party to remain in power, or I'd say time come, I want to move the thing to a different party. So with that, the competition is a lot more buzzing. There's more at stake now than because really and truly, you know, the JLP is not a free run. I mean, they realize that they have to put in the effort. On the ground also, the PNP realize that they have to campaign and come out and make certain statements, make the populace know what they are planning to do, how they're planning to move the country forward for the next 3 years or 5 years.
Right.
Sorry. And then the JLP have to make sure that they say, hey, we are going to continue what we are doing and we want your support. So on the ground, the energy is different. A number of persons are coming out to vote, are going out to vote.
Well, there's a popular question on the market right now that is being... Lady Elise, you're saying something, Lady Elise?
Yeah, I was saying that I think too, the fact that persons recognize that every single vote counts, and they would have known this over the past 2 elections. So both sides recognize that a vote is important So, I think they will come out more this year than the prior years for election. So much more at stake this time
Yeah.
around.
Well, all right. Yeah, here's where I'm going with the question. Somebody said earlier on that there are some buying up votes and all sort of things going on. You have you been privy to some information like that? People spending $50,000 giving people not to vote and stuff like that. Are you aware of these things?
Are you asking me that question?
Yeah, I'm just asking a question. Is this something that is
Okay.
common on the ground?
Okay.
That is
Okay.
that is being
What
whispered?
is common on the ground?
Yes.
What is common on the ground is what existed for years. When the campaigning is done, a man will bring a shirt and a man will put a dollar figure in the shirt and you accept the shirt. It is telling you that, hey, you should support the color. And I mean, yeah, some sort of incentive for you to go that way. And you must admit that this is not anything new. This has always been on the ground.
But yeah, but you don't. I've never been exposed to it though. I don't know. I've never seen it. I hear about it, but I've never seen it myself.
I'm putting it to you that right now, I'm telling you, persons collect them shirts, whether it is green or orange, and will have decided or not decided what they're going to do. But on the day, the color of the shirt that you would have get your stipend from might not necessarily determine how you poll, but the incentive is there at some place and some point.
I remember one time I went voting, and I pack up a whole heap of people in my car and take them to the polling station to vote for a particular party at the time. Years ago, many years ago. Maybe a good 10 years ago or more. And I pack them up in my car, and drive, and everybody say, yes, everybody. When we come back, everybody vote for the opposite party than the one we just talk about. I realize that thing is a very dangerous. So I was talking to a friend of mine this morning, and he says a whole heap of people in a green, dressed up in a green, and he passed one place, a whole heap of people in orange and all of that going on. So I asked him, is a lot of people green in the orange colors going to vote, or the one in the green, dressed up in green and don't vote for orange, So I'm looking at it.
Possible. Quite possible.
So you're saying that people who live in certain areas have to mimic the idea that they are for the party while they vote against it. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, man. Especially if you get your incentive and say in your heart that's not the way you're going to vote. But at the end of the day, nobody can determine what you do in your ballot room. But ultimately, you know exactly that even if you collect a green shirt and you collect an orange shirt, you're not necessarily going that way. And even if you get the incentive, you're not going that way.
That's what it is.
Jamaicans are a two-party country. There are a number of independent candidates vying for support.
Yes.
But I can tell you, at the end of the day, Jamaica will only go either orange or green, and everybody understands that.
I wanted to ask a question because I know formerly we had like NDM, PNP, PLP. Is there a formal third party that's running apart from independent candidates?
The formal, those persons that exist, whether independent or otherwise, they are vying for a political position. They did not come out and say that they are a third party or they are a fourth party. They're just saying that, hey, we're gonna put our hands in the ring and see what comes up.
Alright,
remember, everybody would have remembered when the NDM came out, they came out as an official third party. And they would have put their hats in the ring of such. But these independents that now exist, they just put their hats in the ring as independent parties.
All right, so I want to give a shout out to Alison as well, who's online with us this morning. Alison, good morning to you as well. Of course, Madam Palmer, good morning. Rosemary as well. You know, G, let me say this to you. I hear the concept and the storyline on that in terms of NDM. I remember when NDM was around, there was a gang that was dubbed Jewel and Them. You remember that gang? The Andem gang?
Yes.
Yes, I remember that gang. I'm not saying it's an affiliation of anything. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying I remember that happening at that time. That happened. Alright, here's a question. The people in the Maroons, do you think that the Maroons should have a seat at the table of decision making in Jamaica's politics?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. You see, by virtue of you recognizing or not want to recognize their ethnicity, their presence,
or their contribution to Jamaica's freedom and what we now benefit from.
Whatever the freedom story is.
Okay.
They have treaty that should be recognized
honored
and validated.
Yes.
And as such, I believe that nationally they should have representation that it should be accepted if they so choose to be at the political table. Because remember now, their leadership would have been already selected by themselves in what would have been a democratic way.
Right.
And by virtue of them having certain rights, well, by SODO, it should be first recognized. I don't think the parties of such recognize these rights or these intrinsic rights.
Yes.
Of these people.
So, I listened to a few conversations around that, where I would have heard some pushback on some conversations, and it disturbed me a little bit, and it leads me to ask the question this morning. It's election morning, and of course that's one of the many things that if I was voting, I would look at that as one of the main issues. I don't think it's an election. It's on the table as an election promise or an election mandate in any way. But I would love to hear what the politicians would have said on it. It's past the time that they could speak on it already, because it's already a decision-making time, and people are making decisions now whether to keep the persons who are in play or to vote against the ones who are there. And I have all the reasons why I would vote for or against. You know, that kind of way.
Okay. I have had information that would suggest that the PMP suggested that as a result of their what they would put to the table as a part of their prospectus.
Right.
They said they will welcome the Maroon at the bargaining, at the discussion table, recognizing their rights as Jamaicans. It was said.
So then, what will happen if this happen and yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So it came up in dialogue and in discussion that the PMP, because remember now, the JLP would have in the past would have had some issue.
Butting of heads with them.
Yes. And at some point, I don't think they would have agreed. And I don't think the JLP respected some of the views of the Maroons.
Of the Maroons at the time. I am of the view. I am of that view as well. I thought about it and I saw it, and it was for me a little disturbing for some of the conversations that were happening and some of the decision making that I heard and some comments that came from that. Nevertheless, you know, teeth and tongue will meet, it's discussional time and people do have concerns. So I guess those concerns were heard and are still being heard.
Yeah. So at the table, based on what proposal was made, the die would have cost with the JLP. The JLP would not countenance some of the choices.
That yes.
And they would not. They blatantly disregard any quote unquote sovereignty, because the PM said the only sovereignty
is Jamaica.
In the country would have been the PM himself. But the proposal from the PMP is that they will welcome dialogue and will recognize and will validate our
So you're saying
aspect of the treaty.
Yeah, go ahead. You're saying then that by recognizing that the Maroons would then become orange people.
I would not be able to say, but remember, they by rights they can vote if they're on the voters list, but they by virtue of voting for their leader would have made their choice as it relates to who they would want to represent.
But the Maroons have a different law system that runs their country there where they live.
Yes, they do. But I'm saying to you, by virtue of them being indigenous and being in that territory, their politics are somewhat different, but at the same time, they are a part of Jamaica per se. So there should be a place at the table for dialogue. But like I said earlier on, I remember the JLP was saying that they will not recognize them sovereignty. They will not recognize their sovereignty as their leadership would want to suggest.
Well,
rather.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
The one question mark. You just do it. I really go for Gene Canada. Just do it.
All right. Here's a question for you, G. Like the American Indians that live in America, well, not American Indians that are living in America, or the country that is called America. In this sense of the word, right? Wouldn't the Maroons of Jamaica be in the same position as these persons in the way of the treaty?
The treaty that they're bounded by, while it is seen and understood by the present government, I don't think they accept it as, because based on what I'm telling you, the present government said they only respect their sovereignty.
Not the sovereignty. I heard the conversation. But I'm saying, looking at the American situation with the natives, and they are on the reservation now, as it were, given land and in certain ways said left alone to govern themselves. Is that the same thing with the United States government have little or no legal rights to tell them what to do in their side of the country, even though they are living on the same continent?
Really actually, that is how it's supposed to be.
Yes.
But by virtue of some of the outbursts, I would call it, by the government, the ruling government, they don't respect their sovereignty, because they say that they only recognize and validate sovereignty in Jamaica, and there's only one sovereignty, and it's the party that is elected by the people and the masses of the people.
Alright, so this is what Bob Marley say, you're belly full but you're hungry this morning, you know. I'm thinking that there are people who are vying for what? Are people saying that they're hungry, or they want food, or jobs, or what's it? What's the general consensus of what the election is about this time? It's just change, or just one green or one red?
Okay.
What?
You know, I thought about it this morning,
Right.
and I look at it. I remember back then there was a time when people would come contest and complain and rally and make representation on the point that the government would not have been doing certain things. But strange enough,
Right.
the contention and the sole contention as it relates to this government, they cannot, and I'm going to be honest with you, they cannot fault this government and not doing certain things. They would have exempt themselves, they would have done a lot of good. But where they would fall down with the people presently is the fact that some of the decisions that they would have made would not be very transparent and not be forthwith and not be upstanding as it relates to the scrutiny of the people. And what you find that both parties now, the opposing party take a lot of criticism, and I made a lot of criticism on a number of issues. For example, the selection of some rural bus service that the bus that were bought, how many billions were spent, and I can tell you some of the things that is out there that the opposition would jump on. It's not some of the weakness and the failure by virtue of there's not enough food, there's not enough road, that's not the issue now. The issues are really and truly inadequacy as it relates to management, stewardship, the education system, how it was, it went down with in the early days when Ruel was removed from.
Ruel Reed.
So all of those issues as it relates to inadequacies and lack of proper stewardship, even the credibility of the Prime Minister is questioned, not because of the work that he would have been doing, but because of his statutory deduction and declaration.
All right.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
You find that they don't they're not about who not getting enough food and this and water and light and that sort of thing. No, that's not what it's about.
All right.
The thing about is targeting credibility.
All right. So we're looking at credibility at this point. All right. Here's something that I was thinking about as you mentioned the bus thing. What are the buses that you found to be a little bit off for you in this rural transportation system that is now being implemented? I think on the last government, one government implemented the JUTC bus service. Who was that?
I think the PMP started it, and the rural bus service is a brilliant idea.
All right, good, and I'm going to support it in every way because I'm saying yes to it as well. It has been streamlined. It's regulated. Yes.
Where the issue is, it's not the implementation of the bus service
management
per se. It's not even the management. Is what was done, because, for example, the cost overrun is in billions of dollars, and these buses are 10 and 15 years old. Used bus bought out of the USA. These buses are not retrofitted for Jamaican road and Jamaican context, because how dare you buy a right-hand drive bus in a left-hand drive country? The regular PPV system would not allow that. But yet, it's a number of inadequacies.
So you are saying you use the word inadequacies, but breaches. I would actually the word breaches or the concept of breaches being made would have been the proper
coming from the Transport Authority.
Yes.
These blatant breaches should not have been
happened.
And the cost
was far more than what it was supposed to be.
outside of value because the cost of a new bus, let's say a new coaster,
Right.
that could give you a better engine life is far way more superior than you buy a bus that have 20% engine life left in there.
Yes. I get what you're saying. Like
But
you're saying something with 100,000 miles on it versus one with 0 miles.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
With
these
wear
are
and
some of
tears.
the inadequacies.
Yeah.
And mind you, these inadequacies, you have to accept them. Say, hey, it's a blunder. And you have to be responsible enough to take it as is. So these are some of the things that the opposition would lobby on.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Here's where I'm gonna go. Bus system still, but this time rural bus services. What do you think about the implementation or the idea of implementing this bus service for rural schools, as it were, at this time? What do you think about that idea as an idea for a government to implement for a country? What do you think about that?
I think that it is absolutely a long time coming. It's a brilliant idea.
Yes.
I just think that it is how it was done. It lacks planning, structure. Because may you know Jamaican Road, may you know the winding small terrain where only one vehicle can pass. I think that if they're going to put in a bus system, while it is that it's short term, long term planning has to be where they are going to organize, they're going to put the road structure in place. They're going to put structure in place that will benefit a more feasible and a more efficient service. So there are a number of things. It's a brilliant idea, but there are a number of hurdles that should have been crossed before they went overseas and buy these used right-hand drive.
One of the many conversations that came out of this argument or this conversation is this: that one party said, the opposition said to this, that they would address this matter of this bus system as get rid of the bus system, but give each person $500 per day for taking the buses. What do you think about that? Make more sense?
Again, I mean, okay, both systems have its place.
No, I'm saying one person is going to give the people of the country $500 a day to travel versus giving them a bus service that could take them.
I think.
By the way, did you hear that argument being presented though? Did you hear the argument being presented?
Yeah, man. It's actually $400 per day.
It's actually $400 per day. I put an additional 100.
The opposition minister is my friend. I know. So I can tell you, it was $400 he proposed.
What do you make of that? What do you make of that though?
I think, listen, honestly, on the day, I think that if you have a structured system, in place, if running efficiently, mind you know, his take was the number of students served versus the number of buses available are woefully inadequate. So his proposal is, instead of what they did by taking $100 billion and buy these old buses, it would have better served, because they are going to still be students who are in dire need, who will not be served by the buses. So it would have been best.
But isn't that how the JOTC started out?
Yeah.
by being inadequate first and then become more efficient afterwards by
I can tell you even now until this very day is not inadequate and it's not efficient.
Until this very day, but then it is the most brilliant idea Jamaica could have come up with, even with its most inadequate state. Would you say then that this bus system then that is being proposed, even
give me a minute, then, Mr. Bill.
All right, let's see if we can get back on track. Let's see. All right, let's get back in the conversation. All right, last bit of conversation we're getting. Are you ready for me again?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. All right, let's go again. All right, I know you're busy and we're having we're trying to steal a little bit of conversation while you're in between doing some important stuff. All right, but you're about to say. I asked the question. For me, I'm gonna say straight off, being honest with you, based on the inadequate bus system that started out with the JOTC, I'm mapping the two things. I'm using one to determine the other. You see? It's like saying somebody teaching you how to fish versus giving you a fish. Which one do you think would be better?
I will always go for the learning. I will always go for learning.
Learning how to fish.
And I did say to you that initially, where the issue is, the inadequacy will come with the bus system that now available or is presently available is just a drop in the bucket versus allowing or providing the monetary funds for the regular student to get to point A.
So here's the question I'd ask. With this fleet of bus that comes in, first question I'd ask is, who would be responsible then if these buses are not in play? Who will be responsible for transportation for the students who need to get from point A to point B anyhow? Where is that transportation system?
Before I can answer it this way. Before those buses, students usually use the general transportation system that is available. With the inadequacies of these buses, these children will also have to travel that same way.
No. Don't tie the two together. Don't tie the two together. What I want is a clear answer on what is happening presently without the buses that are now thinking. They're not in the system yet. Leave them out of the system. What have students been doing for all these years? Traveling, how they traveled to and from.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. There's a number of ways. The JUTC had buses that usually carry kids in the corporate area. Montego Bay, Maypen, all of those corporate area, you would say.
Right.
But the rural bus system now is an implementation of a different system per se, wherein they want to incorporate or make buses available for all the schools, especially schools in the rural area. So that's the difference.
That's the difference.
You get it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Question then. Would these buses significantly impact then this inadequate system that is already in place and make it a little bit more adequate then?
Yeah, yes. If it's even one bus, it is going to carry one child, and one child will be.
And so if you derail this and just give the persons money to now be transported the same exact way as they used to be transported, would it be progress for the people or regressing for the people? Or continuing the same thing, not having a new system in place?
I think if we better the system, it can make the difference.
No. I'm saying no. Listen, I know, But I'm saying with the idea of adding money to the same system that is there that is already inadequate, and not adding the buses but give people money that they are already using the system, would that make the now situation better, or continue it or perpetuate the same thing continuously by monetizing it?
No, for me to say monetizing it versus putting the correct bus system in place, just like you said earlier on, if you put the proper infrastructure and facility in
No,
place,
without the proper infrastructure, just adding these buses right now, with all the flaws that are there, would it impact the system in a general way, beefing it up positive, giving a better boost to the island's transportation system for students? Would it just automatically just change the narrative?
Honestly, in my view, I think it will.
Right.
If it's even one penny get carried.
That is my thought, that is my thought on it. And I'm saying, for me, all right, let me go with this. For me, I'm asking someone to take money. I'm going to say this. And this is not from a partisan. I'm not, like I said to you, I'm looking at issues. We talked about their compound, the people in Maroon, and I said that I am against the present policies of the persons who actually are actually pushing against the idea of giving these people the actual right to speak on countries' policies, that they have fought hard enough to actually have this right. And I'm against that. You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
And that's my take. But now here I am, the same breath, looking, and I'm for the buses, despite all the flaws that are there with them. And this is how I'm reading it. So I'm one of the persons who are going to be voting. If you give me the choice to vote on issues and say vote on this issue, and then the partner, so put the issues in place to vote on and let people vote for them instead of vote for the color red or green, and see how the outcome of the election will be.
If you ask me, if you're gonna say, all right, how are you going to vote? Will you select?
That's what I'm saying.
Go with the bus system.
No. What I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. Put the issues on the ballot. Say, all right, how the United States do it, right? They put the issues on the ballot. Those who want abortion rights, vote for abortion. Those who are against it, vote against it. Those who want gay rights, vote for gay rights. Those who want against gay rights, vote against gay rights. Those who want deportation of illegals, vote for that. Those who don't want it, vote against it. You understand? So that's the general idea. I'm suggesting that we put the ballots in place and put issues on the ballots, and then vote on those issues and determine, and then by tallying those votes, you determine who wins, because people would have voted for issues, not color of party in this sense. You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Not color of the party. Just vote for the issues. So if I say, look at this. If someone voted against the bus system or for the bus system, you don't have to be any color persons to do that. If somebody voted for the Maroons having right to vote, or having a right to speak in Parliament, or not having a right to speak in Parliament, you don't have no color to do that. It's just a matter of saying this is what we want. And there are other issues in the country that we would say that are different things that are happening that we would vote for, and then you tally those votes and then come up with an answer for who win the election and who lost the election. And that's what I'm thinking. That's how I feel about that. That's the way I think I would go with it.
That is not how Jamaica operates.
No, I know, but then what would that mean if people operated, if we actually had a system? You know what I would say to that, G? I say this to you. That because we have not put these things in place in front of the people are continuing to vote partisan, red and green, and not have a sense of thinking about what they are voting for. We not made the voting process an issue process, of betterment of government in terms of governance. We are looking. We have always made it a red or green situation, and if you're orange or you're green, you're either green or you're orange, no matter what the issues are.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that has been a flaw for a long time and need to change.
Yeah, that is why I will tell you that I have voted for either party.
All right.
Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Williams, I am in a position right now where
All right. Yes. All right, ladies. We're talking this morning. I have one more person I want to give a call. I'm trying to shout out, but I can't seem to get a link up. Somehow we have lost the connection somewhere. But you understand the conversation we are having this morning, though?
I do.
You see where we are, and what I'm trying to reach, what I'm trying to make available to us is the idea of being able to vote for what we actually believe in as a people. Vote for issues. Vote for issues, not just the color of the shirts that is being worn. And that is where I'm at this time. Yeah.
That's what is supposed to happen, I believe. I believe that's what's supposed to happen, but unfortunately, we have found ourselves in a situation where we are just diehard, one or the other, and so we function in that way.
So we can't change because that's how it is for us.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna take a break and then we go to the news, and then when we come back.
Good morning, Cayman. It is Wednesday, 3rd September, and here's your breakfast or news update. I'm CoraleeKaren. Government imposes hiring freeze. The Cayman Islands government has announced a hiring freeze on all non-essential civil service positions, as Finance Minister Ralston Anglin warns the country is on track for a $60 million budget deficit by year's end. The freeze, in place since July, is designed to rein in staff costs, the civil service's single biggest expense. Acting Deputy Governor Wes Howell said the move has already saved $11 million. While schools and police are included in the freeze, Howell noted exceptions may be made for frontline needs. Opposition leader Joe Hugh called the situation concerning, stressing the impact it could have on public services and staff morale. Tourism jobs fair next week. Meanwhile, Caymanians seeking jobs in tourism are being urged to come prepared to compete. Deputy Premier Gary Rotty and Employment Minister Michael Miles told job seekers to dress appropriately and show professionalism at the Tourism and Hospitality Open House set for September 8th and 9th at the Marriott Resort. The event, organized by CETA and WALK, will connect 450 participants with hotel and tourism employers as Cayman prepares for more than 600 new jobs coming online this year. CIBC pledges more opportunities for Caymanians. CIBC executives meeting with Minister Miles reaffirmed the bank's commitment to train and hire Caymanians, offering internships, career pathways, and leadership development programs. The bank says its goal is to reduce long-term reliance on work permits while strengthening Cayman's local talent pool. Crackdown on assaults against police. Cayman's acting governor, Franz Manderson, has backed Commissioner of Police Kurt Walton's call for tougher penalties for assaults on officers. This follows the 26th reported attack on police this year. Manderson promised a zero-tolerance approach, while Commissioner Walton confirmed more officers will soon be equipped with tasers and body cams for protection. First chicken hatchery launched. In agriculture, Cayman has launched its first commercial chicken broiler hatchery. Denise Farm, led by Noel Dawkins, can incubate nearly 3,000 eggs per cycle, aiming to reduce reliance on imports and strengthen local food security. Agriculture Minister J.A. Banks hailed the project as a major step towards resilience, saying it will bring down costs and ensure a more reliable local poultry supply. New road section opening. Drivers can expect more relief on Shamrock Road as the east-west Agricola stretch opens September 4th. The National Roads Authority says the section links Rex Crichton Boulevard to Agricola Drive and will ease congestion, though motorists are urged to slow down as the road remains an active construction zone. Cayman dancer makes strides in New York. On the arts scene, Caymanian dancer Cassidy Davis Quintero is making waves in New York, joining the faculty at the H. Steen School of Music and Dance. She is teaching Afro-Caribbean styles while introducing the Rochester community to Caymanian quadrille. Davis Quintero says her goal is to inspire Cayman's youth and share Cayman's cultural identity abroad. CDB pushes creative economy growth. Regionally, the Caribbean Development Bank is doubling down on support for the creative industries. Through its Cultural and Creative Industries Innovation Fund, the bank has already supported over 1,000 creatives in 17 countries. President Daniel Best says the next phase will focus on sustainable financing models to help Caribbean artists own their future. Montserrat outlines policy agenda. Montserrat has confirmed its 2025 to 2028 national policy agenda, prioritizing infrastructure, education, food security, health, and sustainable growth. The plan is expected to guide ministries in aligning budgets and policies with the island's long-term development goals. Voting time off reminder in Jamaica. The Electoral Office is reminding employers that workers are entitled to 3 hours paid time off to vote in the September 3rd general election and local government by-elections. The rule does not apply to workers who start after 10 a.m. or finish before 2 p.m. U.S. strike on Venezuelan boat. Internationally, U.S. President Donald Trump says 11 suspected narco-terrorists were killed in a strike on a drug-carrying boat from Venezuela. Trump alleged the group was linked to Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and warned traffickers not to target the United States. And that's your breakfast all news roundup. Continue to stay tuned for more news and weather coming up next.
Do you have a talent for singing, playing an instrument, spoken word, or dance? Then this is your moment. Cayman's Got Talent Season 1 is here. And for our first season, we are putting the spotlight on gospel. Selected participants will be featured at the Point of Praise Gospel Extravaganza on October 25, 2025. But hurry, the final date for registration is September 30. To register, email us at info@flashpointmedia.ky or WhatsApp 345-321-6969. That's 345-321-6969. Don't miss this opportunity to showcase your talent and be part of something special. Cayman's Got Talent.
Cayman Got Talent. Of course, everybody is going to be doing that one with us this morning. We have lots of stuff.
Do you have it?
I want to let you know that no matter what, somebody have talent. You must have something you can do very well. Whether it be singing, talking. Talking is a talent, come on. You do have talent in this way, I believe. And so we have persons who are setting up to be showing off their talents coming up on October 25th right here in the Grand Cayman Islands. Cayman Got Talent with Flashpoint, of course, is going to be a spectacular event right here in the Grand Cayman Islands.
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
You're listening to Flashpoint Radio, Rise and Shine, your morning boost of inspiration, news and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and CoraleeKaren, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
Alright, so we are back again with you this morning. Lady Elise, I'm thinking, we have joining us this morning, one of our friends from, living outside of in the diaspora. Good morning. How are you doing? Am I hearing? No? Lady Elise, good morning. Let me see if I can start here, because I'm not hearing our guest this morning on this morning's experience on the breakfast hour. I want to say good morning to Mama Boy. He's in Spanish Town, Jamaica right now, making his headway to go do his voting and everything. I'll be catching up with him shortly and talking a little bit more with him about the whole experience. You know. All right, so Jen, good morning to you. I have not. Let me see. She has joined us this morning. One of our illustrious members. Good morning. How are you? I think I'm having some technical difficulties. Am I hearing or no? Are you hearing me? All right. So let's do it this way, ladies. Let me fix this. Let me fix this. Let me fix this. All right. So let me fix this problem once and for all. All right. Alright, while we get our guests on this morning, Lady Elise, you know, it's election morning, and I don't know about you. Are you green or red? Don't answer that, please.
Well, if you judge by the color I'm wearing, I should probably be wearing a very neutral color this morning. And, you know, I appreciated what our caller said before he had to go. And he was mentioning that he has voted on either side because he has voted for issues.
He's not voting for party, he's voting for issues and how it works.
Yes.
Well, one of the issues I'd vote for or against is there are many issues that I look at, and so one of the things that I saw happening for us at one point was that the country basically got a situation in there where the government gave itself a big raise, and civil servants didn't get a big raise. They got a small raise. They doubled or tripled down on their pay packages and stuff like that. For me, was a bit of for me, things like that caught my attention. How that translates for many Jamaicans at that point, I think many persons are up in arms still about it. I am still thinking about it. In the maroon segment of it, I'm for the bus system that is presently there, that is being implemented, right? And so I am for the bus system that is being implemented, and to take down what you call the students who would not be able to have access to buses or the bus system by and large. And so we take it in this way, that it might make sense that we use the system instead of giving people $400 as was suggested in the conversation that we're having. And this is a big part. If you're just joining us, this is where the conversation is. I'm putting the conversation down, where the government of the day is actually presenting a bus system for rural students to have a service that will help them to be better able to get to and from their schools in a safe way. Given the present conditions of some level of crime have risen over a period of time, of course we're giving some thanks to the police that are actually working very hard and has been putting some definite strides into calming down the criminal activities within Jamaica and to stem it. We are giving them a big shout out this right now, that I think for the first time for a long time, crime has gone down in a significant way. Whether criminals put down their guns or hiding out or whatever it is, but they are a little bit more afraid now than before, when they were just rampantly going out there and being John Wayne. And so I see this happening. However, we understand also that not necessarily that people of Jamaica want a change of a government because of issues. We want a change of government because we think the green ones are in too long, or we think the orange ones are in too long, or we don't like the orange ones, or we don't want them to go in, and we don't like the green ones, so we don't want them to stay. You know, we don't have an issue with anything. We just don't want anybody to be in the same space. We don't want anyone to actually, you know, as we are recapping this part, Elise is saying that it's not that Jamaicans are, you know, we're talking about crime and violence. It has gone down significantly lower for the longest while. But here's how this thing works. I remember when there was a gas crisis in Jamaica many years ago, as a young boy at the time, and they must have raised the price of gas maybe about 50 cents or $1.
Yes.
$1, I think, or $2. And the entire Jamaica caught fire. I don't know if it's $5 or $2. I don't remember the thing, but it was a raise of maybe $5. Let's say it's $5 for the argument.
Right.
I'm not saying it's $5, guys. Please check the records. I'm just bringing back memory. And it came up, so I'm not fact checked this to say it is $5 or $2.
Yes.
But what happened was they raised it $5 and what up or $2. Let's say it's $5. And the entire Jamaica was burnt down. Some hardware stores were looted and all of that. You know, you have some friends that possibly had lost millions of dollars in goods and services, especially in the St. John's Road area. I know a young man who started a nice hardware store down there, and he lost everything. They went in and they took everything from his store for that period. I never forget it. And the government at the day, after the country caught fire, reduced the money. But what they did was they reduced the money. If the money was $2, they didn't reduce it back to $2. They reduced it $1 less $5. And so they stopped it. So they take out $1 off the $5. I'm just putting this as an argument. I'm not saying this is so, but this is basically what happened. They reduced it at least about $1 or $2 then, and it was $2 before. So you still have $3. So it's still $1 higher than the $2, right? And then when the country went down, when everything went down, what happened was they incrementally started to raise the gas price, not to $5 one time, not $3, add on the $2 again, but they raised it 50 cents at a time, over time, till they get back to the $5, until it now $6. Then it becomes $10 now, incrementally, because they realize that if they put on one big thing on it, it causes a problem. Alright, crime and violence in Jamaica. Crime and violence is at say 500 people dying for the year, just for argument. 500 persons dying for the year, for argument's sake. And so what happened was, crime went up, say 1,000 people dying. Alright? But then what you did was you reduced 100 out of 1,000, which is 900 now, and crime has come down lower than it has ever been, because it's been there for many years at 1,000. So crime come down at 100 less dying, but 900 still dying a year, and crime is lower than it. I'm not saying this is the case, but I'm saying this is how a lot of people measure things. It didn't come back to 500 persons, you know, less. It just came down 100 less, so it makes it the lowest, because it was there for 10 years or more at 1,000. And it comes from 500, right? Which should not have been 500 in the first place, but we have learned to accept things like that. And so this is how we measure things in our mindset. So this is my thinking on it. All right. So as it were, the question was asked. There's a bus company bus service that is implemented in the rural area, and now $400 is being given to people for not accepting that system. You tell me what you think of that.
You know, Mikey G, When I consider the conversation and the fact that we should not politicize certain things, if you are caring for the people
Yes.
and
Be
if you
caring. Be caring
are
for the people. Be at
authentic,
least caring for the people.
then crime rate affects us.
All
Transportation for our
affects us.
children
Yes.
affects us. It
Yes.
affects us, it affects our family, it affects the community, affects the country. And there's things that should never ever go down to politics, winning and losing because I want to win. I do this because what about caring? And I think that is what needs to be taken into consideration for persons that are voting. I'm checking my phone. I'm looking at quite a few persons' statuses. A lot of them showing their finger, purple ink, saying that I have
Exercise
made
my right.
right. And a lot of the conversations I've been listening to, Mikey G, is related to getting the youth engaged, letting the youth know that their voice counts, and recognizing that they too must participate in exercising their right to vote.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, Mikey G, you want to know that your vote counts and your voice also counts, so that if anything starts to happen, the road start to fix or the road demolish or whatever you voted for, you don't have a choice in the matter if you didn't vote.
Right.
You can't complain, you can't, because your voice was not heard. So persons should go out and vote, listen to the conversations on the ground. Um, just read a message from someone who said that where they went to vote this morning, polling divisions open as early as 7 a.m. Some person says it was quiet in their division. There was not much happening
Right.
at that early stage. Some other persons reporting that it was busy. People are coming out. We heard our caller earlier was saying that persons are coming out more than
Right.
previous elections.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm sure
Right.
at the end of the day, we will have the statistics to show that you're listening live to Flashpoint. We are located over here in Grand Cayman, but a lot of the population here
Yeah,
in
Jamaicans.
Caymans are Jamaicans,
Jamaicans, right.
and there are Jamaicans who have gone home today
To
to
vote.
cast their vote.
Right.
And
Right.
we say kudos to you. And that is a statement. I have a friend of mine who just called me from the US, and she is in front of our television and she's watching the counting of the ballots, and she's saying, I plan to go down to Jamaica. She's in the US. She said, I planned to go to Jamaica to vote, but I had an appointment and I couldn't make it. But I'm calling my cousin, I'm calling my auntie, I'm calling my mom, I'm calling everybody, and I'm telling them to vote. And she says, vote for the people who work for you. Vote for them. Go out
Vote for
and
them.
vote. So you might don't minimize your impact and your vote. Don't minimize it.
All
I
right.
say it's a right to vote. Go out and make your voice be heard.
All right. On the line right now is one of our friends from Jamaica right now, and he's in the vote. All right. So, tell me, how is the voting going on in Jamaica? Did you get to cast your vote already?
Oh, you're talking to my...
Yes. Yes. Right away. Yeah, man. Your time. I'm asking you. Did you get to do your voting already? How is it going?
Yeah, it's going on good now. Everybody's it's going on very good. And right now, the inside of Taspen at this moment, may I just say everybody I unite well good right now in Taspen. I just want to come on the street right now in Taspen. You know. Because right now, me inside the migrant Taspen right now.
The middle of Taspen. So let me ask you. You have any orange people in Taspen right now?
No, right now, I feel green, me say. right up.
Yeah, you know the question I'm asking, right? You know what I'm asking you, right?
I may tell you that everybody at home, man. Me I tell you the people that love me like I'm to the max in the place.
Well, all right. Let me ask you. How you feel about the election? Who you think will make the win this time, though? Who you think will win the election? Which party?
Well, right now, as told me right now, me not see one orange right now, and a pure green and that's all day long. Right now, when me the lens in a pure orange, me see a lens they come straight back to the highway. This is Spanish Town, a pure green.
But then, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, 'cause right now, a Babsy girl here right now, Mina right now. The real big woman here, Mina right now. For real.
So
right now, everybody has a shower.
Everybody has a shower now.
Yes, man.
So it's a happy time so let me ask you, what are some of the things they're doing on the ground? Like what activity they're doing? Like people celebrating, people cooking food. What people doing? Tell me.
Right now, out on the front park, we do some big fat, you know, whole chicken, whole a star and all star, everything. You see all of the tree them, entire green they find them. Green star. They said everywhere you walk around this side between William Street, Starspen, I don't know from the next side, yes, so the next 20 minutes time from this.
Right.
Me there between Wellington Street, I go back to Bus Park. So there's the red section I hear and now, mix up here and now. We go back to Delaville and take here. So you don't know me on the street same time, you know.
You're up on the street. You make sure you find the people on the ground. You talk to people. Everybody festive. Everybody happy. And waiting for election. But of course, if the Green Party lose, what do you think the place will be like?
Well, but as for me right now, you know, me see everybody happy like I eat that, you know, and me not see no sad face and, you know, everybody up and everybody are roll out and me go who are sitting up, who are drinking, who have all our 3 2 kind of them package, everybody up and one another, everybody are sharing, well loving.
Alright, let me ask you, what kind of violence? Is any violence going on? Any violence going on? Any violence going on anywhere? You hear anyone creating chaos or anything like that? You hear anything like that or see anything like that going on?
No, me not hear nothing yet about no war yet and that.
No war or no violence.
All the one thing they look up on them now, where I ride the bike now, they have up the front wheel of my bike up in the air. And the whole of them are big here nice and they will ring up them bell and everybody say, sure, then wear there, so I talk about it. So you don't know. The thing are flow good, well nice.
Alright.
Well nice.
Alright. Well, alright. So, you know what? I'm going to touch in Montego Bay and see what's going on in Montego Bay. I'm going to link up back with you later on and then I'm going to follow up with you. I'm going to keep you updated. Keep me updated as to what area you're in at the time and how things going across Jamaica. Alright?
Yeah, man. Yes, I'm in transit from Charleston right now.
You're doing what? You're doing what?
Yeah, the art at Charleston right now. I'm there right now.
Alright. So I'm going to catch up back with you later on and see what's going on. Alright?
Yeah, okay then, Michael.
Alright,
yeah,
cool. Alright.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, flashpoint to the world. We're talking about election, and of course, I'm going to just break for the breakfast hour this morning. We're going to take it down one notch. But we still, please continue to enjoy www.flashpointmedia.ky. We're going to be here all day. Yeah, Lady Elise, we're about to exit the room, you know.
Yes, and I know you're exiting the room, but I have to, I don't know if you have seen in the chat, and we want to, of course, acknowledge a very, very, very important member of our team, and we want to say happy birthday. A request was made, Mikey G, from Connie J.E.
Connie J.E. asking for birthday request. All right.
Yes,
The birthday request.
she has
No
asked
worries.
that we send birthday greetings to her brother, Jermaine.
Ah, Jermaine's birthday today, huh?
Yes, and so we want to say from Connie J.E. and all of the Flashpoint team, we want to wish you a happy, splendiferous, spectacular,
Birthday.
what did I say? Spectacular, amazing, fabulous birthday.
All right, we'll do it then.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Blazing the steel. Bring the heat. Mix it non-stop. Non-stop. Yeah, yeah, with the hottest DJ. Live. Celebrate life, celebrate life.
Celebrating life this morning. One more year upon them. I'll let you know this after this morning. Still in the morning time, yeah man.
Yeah. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Yeah. One more year upon them.
Some places afternoon already.
Yeah. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend.
Happy birthday to you. Alright, so we big up Jermaine this morning. That's what you're saying, Lady Elise?
Yes. We want to say happy birthday to you. May the Lord prosper you. May you have many, many more happy birthdays. What a way to start September. We ended August with a blast and we are starting September with another blast.
All right.
Celebrating life. That's what we are saying.
So we're gonna be asking Jermaine to come out on the September celebration on the beach when we do September celebration on the beach, alright? So he'll be part of those celebrants celebrating September birthdays. So all September celebrants, we're going to be setting a date for you to come out and of course enjoy our breakfast, Flashpoint breakfast beach celebration for all birthdays in September 2025 going forward.
Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Happy birthday, yeah, my friend. Yeah. One more year on them.
Alright, so you know what? Jermaine, big up yourself. That's what we're going to say. That's what we have for you this morning. Flashpoint style. Of course, Mikey G in the studio at Flashpoint. Of course, Lady Elise right here. We want to big up your friends across Jamaica. All those who are participating in the election right now. And those who say green. And those who say red or orange. Of course, who say shower. And some say power. Whatever one you're saying this morning. Of course, everybody, just go and big up yourself. But Jermaine, happy birthday to your Connie J.E. Family. It's all about family. And we're to celebrate family right now. And we're not doing anything different, Lady Elise. What's your thought on the family matters this morning?
You listen, family is everything. You know, Connie J.E., she have to big up our family this morning, and we are one big happy family. Big up to Connie and big up to the entire family, and happy birthday to Jermaine. Enjoy to the maximum.
Maximum respect, Jermaine. Yeah, family, wherever you are. Yeah, why not? Yeah, you know, sometimes we have this thing, you know, a certain way, but yeah, that's how we want to do it. All right. You know, of course, we're saying family this morning, so let's do it like this.
Yo, Shaggy. I'm easy family. Sure. If I want to be in a friend.
DJ Mikey.
I'm easy family. Sure. If I want to be in a friend.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. That's it, that's it, that's it. All right, so we said family this morning, of course, all here on Flashpoint, and we're doing it like this for Jermaine this morning. Connie J.E., family, family, family everywhere. We're saying this morning, happy birthday to you. Of course, as we say election going on, we're going to cut the stream now. Get off the YouTube and the Facebook and all of these channels, these social media platforms. And then, of course, we'll still maintain our radio. Flashpoint Radio still continue playing. www.flashpointmedia.ky. Just keep lock it right there. Don't move it. Everything non-stop juggling all day today and all about election Jamaica. We're going to take you highlights all through the evening. Of course, later on we'll jump back on our social media platforms again, and we'll definitely bring some more highlights for you throughout this day and celebrate with you. Get some highlights what's going on across Jamaica, and of course
celebrate with you and cry with you. You have to remember, you know,
be about it, Elise. Be a cry later on, Elise.
Well, some of us will be crying, some of us will be celebrating.
I can't tell you how bad it. I can't tell you how bad it look. You know, this is what I'm going to play this song, right? Because for some people later on, right?
Quite far talk.
This is how I'm going to do it.
Leave me la. Rough them up. Enough see the glamour and the glitter, them say all is well. But when me I go through, only the Lord will tell. Yeah. One heap of pain, one heap of stress step on me head. As me out born the next day, me granny dead. But them say, why no kill you, make you stronger. Me see some man a try draw me out, but me a go and hold the younger. Me hear them talk, but me no answer. Jermaine and Jaden tell me say fi sing that song. Mercy of God, the mercy of God, the mercy of God.
Blazing the steel.
All right.
Mix it non-stop.
Just the mercy of God. Of course, if you want to stick around. If you're sticking around with us this morning or this throughout the afternoon, you know what's going to happen. Of course, we're mixing off a few tracks, and of course, we're going to be talking a lot about the election in Jamaica and what's going on in Jamaica today. So it's all about Jamaica today and the election. Sorry guys, Grand Cayman, big up yourself. All Caymanians, big up yourself. But today is Jamaica Day, and we're going to dedicate today to Jamaica and Jamaica. That's what we're looking at. Of course, we looked at the newscast that came out, and there's a few things that come up. There's a guy who's holding out an egg farming business in Jamaica, poultry going on. I think it's a good move. I believe it's one of the best moves I've heard for a long time. For persons to get into this sector and to kind of like, you know, they're talking about food security, you know, but then, you know, as it were, it takes some hardship sometimes to bring us to senses, you know, that you can't rely on people all the time for what we have. We have to rely on ourselves, you know. I would love some Jamaicans to realize that also, that we can do more at home than abroad, in a lot of ways. So, while you're out there working, build up yard, no man, build up yard while you're out there working.
We can't isolate things. Everything is connected.
Yeah, man. Everything.
Even though we like to disjoint and don't recognize the connection.
Yes.
And you started a conversation and you asked, should people in the diaspora be allowed to vote?
Yes.
What percentage of Jamaicans are we? What percentage are at home? And how do they communicate? Jamaicans travel back and forth. That's bringing income. Persons send money back and forth. Western Union, MoneyGram, JM, different ways of sending and spending money. We are all part of one big family. And so we recognize that things aren't in isolation. The election affects Jamaican living at home and abroad. There are impacts and implications for Jamaicans. So I implore you, if you can vote, you're eligible to vote, please let your democratic right ring out today. Go out, cast your vote, let your voice be heard. And that's what I have to say. I want to thank all the listeners and viewers that have tuned in. But beyond that, those who have communicated, called us, let us know what's happening on the ground, the messages that you have sent, the calls that you have made. We appreciate it. We hope for a safe and a day that is, of course, reflective of what the forefathers persons who have lost their life for this freedom, this democratic right that we take for granted. I hope that it is a productive day.
Well, Elise, you mentioned the idea of asking the question what percentage of Jamaicans are living outside Jamaica and, of course, in the diaspora and so we are looking at it. I'm trying to reach a few more persons in Jamaica before we cut our stream this morning and go straight to just radio alone, coming off our social media platforms. But here's what I'm saying here this morning, that Jamaica has contributed to 40% of GDP to the up to 40% of GDP to Jamaica, right? 40% of GDP to Jamaica. That's what we call the gross domestic product of Jamaica, which means this is the budget of Jamaica. But people live on remittance, from remittance. 40% of GDP in area comes from persons that supports Jamaica. Comes from people who live outside of Jamaica, which means Jamaica, persons living in Jamaica who says that people in the diaspora should not be allowed to vote, when they hear that it is them that provide 40% of your amenities or the reason you are having it so easy and it could be much worse, is because of them. You should think twice about that conversation.
Yes. And so I want to say greetings to all the Jamaicans at home and abroad. Everywhere, those who are in Cayman, those who are in US, Canada, UK, Poland, Europe, Africa, wherever you are, I know you're logged in, I know you're connected, whichever way you're connected, and you're watching to find out what the outcome may be. So pray for a safe and a wonderful election. I want to just wish all our listeners a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning into the Breakfast Hour. Catch us online on our web radio, www.flashpointmedia.ky. And I'm your girl Elise saying, have yourself a splendiferous and an amazing day. See you next time, same place. We're live here all the time, www.flashpointmedia.ky. Stay connected.
Alright, ladies, of course, I want to thank everyone for staying and sticking and staying with us. See you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Of course, it's going to be Thursday. Of course, remember, you had the link up, come up tomorrow. And so, comes up tomorrow. I did say come up tomorrow. Yes, comes up tomorrow. My Jamaican vernaculars keep jumping out at me. Guys, it's my language, Jamaican. I speak Jamaican. So, please, don't feel any way about it, alright? So, tomorrow, join me for Yardie Link Up, and we're going to link up and talk something, because by then the election would have won. People are happy or sad. Let's talk about it tomorrow on Yardie Link Up. People in the diaspora, people in Jamaica, wherever you are. Grand Cayman, big up yourself. All my friends in Cayman and my enemies too, big up on yourself. You have to wave bye-bye.
I'm Audley Scott, and you're listening to Flashpoint Radio. Rise and shine. Your morning boost of inspiration, news, and fun. With Mikey G, Lady Elise, and CoraleeKaren, the unmistakable combination, synergized to navigate.
It's like we're running in circles, going around every day, getting stuck in the hurdles of yesterday. Don't you wanna go further, away from the fray? Let's not get stuck in our worries, we'll make our own way. Won't you come outside where the sunflowers bloom? Breathe in the air, look up to the moon. I'll meet you outside, away from the crowd. Just you and me together, we'll all sing there outside. Just us in the sky. I will go wherever, I'll be yours forever.
You're listening to Flashpoint, the family radio.
Hey, I am Brother West, and the only station I listen to in the morning is Flashpoint Radio. Please stay tuned and be blessed.